So I'm going to talk a little bit about internal numbness. A lot of the clients that I work with experience internal numbness, and sometimes we aren't even really aware that it's happened. So a lot of the time the numbness has potentially been there for so long that we don't really know what it feels like to experience big sensations internally. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about why that happens in our body. So I'm going to give you an example. I was brushing a little girl's hair the other day, and she was saying about how for so many years her mum's brushed her hair in such a rush in the mornings that it doesn't hurt anymore. So in that example, what's happened is her body has shut down. So something that once hurt, our body goes into this shutdown so that we don't actually feel the pain anymore. And it's a result of trauma. So if you imagine that in terms of your body, when you're having sex, if for some reason your body perceives that sex as traumatic, and that trauma could just be overstimulation, that you're a really sensitive person and you're almost overstimulated, and then your body can go into this space of numbness. And what happens is internally the nerve endings desensitize, so we start to feel less. And so many women that I work with just say that internally there just isn't a sensation that they feel in, for example, their clitoris. So their clitoris is full of sensation, but internally there is this numbness. So the numbness is trauma, and when we experience emotional trauma, our body responds. So our body shuts down, and then we are physically feeling something which has changed. It starts to feel different. So the work is in creating a new level of trust with our body so that our body feels safe to reconnect. So a lot of us are very disconnected from our bodies. So, for example, we might have underlying pain like a headache or a backache, and maybe we can get through the day by just not really being in our body. So we distract ourselves from discomfort so that we can just continue with this underlying pain. And if you imagine that we've disconnected from our bodies, what we need to do is we need to start dropping back into our bodies. As women, we need to be in our bodies in sex. And most women are stuck in their heads because all day long we're doing things with our mind. We are not creating the space that we need to be in our bodies. Really, unless you're actively choosing to do practices, you're probably not doing much that is in your body. Like dancing is in your body, yoga, any sort of embodiment practice. But you need to be making space to be connecting deeply with your body. Because if you aren't creating that space, then when you go into sex, you're naturally going to be in your head, and that is going to affect the sensations in your body, especially internally. So when we've created this internal trauma, we need to kind of break it down. So one, looking at like, why was that created? Did I break boundaries with myself? Did I listen to my body and what I actually needed? Maybe there was a specific trauma that we're aware of that's happened sexually, or maybe it is just continuously not listening to ourselves, people pleasing, having sex when we aren't actually ready for it and surrendered, moving too fast, not asking for what we need. And we need to start really respecting our bodies again, and this deep inner listening in terms of what we need. And the more that we can listen to our bodies, we can start to create this level of trust with ourselves where we can start to show our body it's safe to reconnect. And practices like vulva meditation, where we're creating this safe space to connect with our vulvas, or other things like embodiment, and just making space to be completely focused and mindful of the sensations of touch. Like, a lot of us don't think about touch, and you can probably, so some really key indicators of when you know that your body's shut down are, say your partner touches your arm if you notice yourself kind of flinch away from that touch, or that touch feels almost irritating to you, that's probably because you are not in your body. You're busy up in your mind, someone's touched your body, and that feels almost uncomfortable to you because you're so disconnected from yourself. Another really key indicator is general numbness. So feeling numbness in self-pleasure, feeling numbness in sex, and just a lack of sensation. Like the inside of our vulva should be as sensational as the external. It is only that our body shut down so much that we stop feeling. So we need to start feeling again. And it's not just about the body. It's like, am I suppressing my emotions? Am I a woman who is feeling all the time? Like, as a woman, we are emotionally centered, and we need to be dropping into our bodies all day long and connecting with ourselves. And the more connected to our bodies we are, the more that we will feel. And that goes in terms of emotionally, and absolutely in terms of intimacy and sex.